Recording. Hi, welcome to our team call. We can always need some sort of music, no music, because, well, I guess we could. I guess it's live on Facebook. So we are going to talk like three things tonight. The first thing we're going to talk about is something that it's funny because it was a conversation I had I think that you have to kind of continuously have it as an entrepreneur. And that conversation is that I think that we think that because we are our own people, right? Like we're our own entrepreneurs and and a lot of us still have jobs and we have to be, at our jobs. And then there's this little thing on the side that is more exciting than maybe your job, or is more, it gives you more fire or whatever. But the truth is it's still a job and it still requires work and it still requires, attention, and it requires growth and all of the things. And so I think sometimes when we stop treating it like it's something we want to grow, then it stops growing. So I think, just like I kind of did, I don't know if you guys were following the 21 Day Fix Extreme. I felt like I went into those programs with this, like, this is going to be the best, 42 days or whatever ever. And like by first week of 21 Day Fix Extreme, I was like, man, I suck and my results aren't there and everything is lame and I'm not getting the results I wanted. And it was 100% just, that fourth trimester, all the emotions, all the hormones, not sleeping, all the health stuff going on. And I decided, I was listening to something, probably Mel Robbins, and I had decided I'm going to visualize what I want to look like, and not look like, feel like at the end of the next 2.5 weeks. And every morning I would think about that. I would think about how it felt to take those photos. I would think about what it felt like to be in that bikini or whatever I was going to take it out. I would think about how it felt like to, this totally TMI, but like to be naked with my husband, like things like that that was, hi Chris, awkward. Anyway, you got your phones on, fine. So I would think about all those things and I would feel those emotions. And I swear every time I reach for that cookie or that candy or that whatever, it was like, no, you already, because you trick your brain into thinking what it already is, right? Like the more you visualize it, the more you see it, the more you feel it, the more that your brain actually thinks it's already happened. So that's kind of what you have to do in this business. The same exact thing. What do you want out of this business? Do you see yourself up on stage? Do you see yourself walking across the stage with you get flags. I'm just going to, for those of you who've never been to Summit, depending on what star you are, you get a little star, you get a little flag, and you walk across the stage, but there's 30,000 people there, right? And you're walking across the stage and you got your little flag and you feel like you're Miss America, even though nobody could care less who you are because they don't know who you are, but your team knows who you are and your husband's, waiting on that picture, and you go through all of those feelings. What does that feel like to you? What does it feel like to, maybe get that invitation to go to Greece or to go to Italy or go to, sorry, I'm on a roll here. Oh crap. Okay. Well, okay. Hold.
Where's she going? Okay, well, I'll just
like a squirrel moment.
What was that, Jackie?
And so I think she had like a squirrel moment.
Oh man. Okay, well, I'll just piggyback on to kind of what she was saying. I think the amazing part of being entrepreneurs is that we get to set our own schedules and we get to say yes to working when we want and say no to working when we don't want, but we still need to be doing it every day. And I look at a weekend like Memorial Weekend and I was thinking, we didn't like go on vacation. We didn't go and do anything like super fun, but we're doing a project and it took a lot of time. And so going into the weekend, knowing I was going to be doing something that was going to be very time consuming intentional with my time. And I also knew that instead of looking at the 3-day weekend as, a holiday, I'm going to take my foot off the gas and just coast and check out for my business. Instead, I always go into those weekends with the intention of, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that my husband's home and I can sneak in extra work, or I can do my power hour in the morning and then tell them, hey, I need a little bit more time to get a little bit ahead right now. So I think that while we all love to check out on holidays, I mean, who doesn't? I think that the beauty of what we get to do is that we still get to make our own hours in that, but you also have to know that in a business like this, taking your foot off the gas is never the right answer. So while it's great that we get to make our own hours and all of that, part of being an entrepreneur and part of this job is that I don't want to say you never take time off, but you really cannot just not post and not do the things. You need to plan for it, because as soon as you start building momentum in this business, if you come to a family vacation or you come to a 3-day weekend or whatever it is, and you just check out and you don't do any of it, you don't post, you don't invite, you don't check into groups, whatever, that shows the people who typically watch you that you're not that serious about it. And from a challenger standpoint, that's not the person that I'm going to want to work with, who, is showing up most of the time. And then all of a sudden you just like nothing, like, well, where did she go? Or, maybe somebody's been following you and you've been talking about the business. And then all of a sudden you go on vacation for 2 weeks and nobody hears from you. So even if you're going on a vacation or there's a 3-day weekend or whatever it is, and you want to take a little bit of time off, just plan for it. Tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to knock my power hour out first and get it out of the way. And maybe it's not even a full power hour. Maybe it's a little bit taken back. Plan out your posts so that you can be completely present. I love that. For me, the way that my mind works is, I told Eric on Friday morning, I said, this weekend, I know we have a lot going on. I need 2 hours every single day to devote to my business. And I'm not talking about including my workout time in that. And he said, okay. Because sometimes I think we forget to tell our significant others what we're doing. And because it's so online based, can't tell you how many times in the last 5 years, Eric and I have gotten in the most ridiculous arguments over nothing, because I'm assuming, he's assuming I'm just playing on my phone when I'm working, right? So sometimes you just have to tell them, like, I need some undivided attention so I can just focus and get this done. And then it was great, because the rest of the time when I wasn't working, I was completely present in holiday weekend mode, doing what we wanted to do with our family. But part of owning your own business is, yes, you still have to show up on those weekends. And if in the least, you still have to show up on social media, because that is your storefront. So if your power hour doesn't get done in those times or whatever, you still have to show up and let people know that you are here for the long haul, that this is important to you. This is something that you.
And she we're both checking out. It's terrible. No, I think that I'll go back to my visualization, but she's dead. She hit it dead on the, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had to say to James, hey, here's what I'm going for. Here's the hours that this means. These are the things that are important to me. This is when I need to work the business. This is, and maybe even breaking it down, like showing him a success story of somebody who was here and did these things, and this is where they are. Or, my husband is in finance, so a lot of times it's the financial part. Like, show me what this means when you hit this level. What does that look like financially? And ultimately, it's just him rallying with me, right? And I feel like it takes off that tension, takes off that bite. When I'm doing this, it's not because I'm like texting, Andy or Andrea and we're just talking about Empire sometimes, but we save that for the morning when they can't watch us. I'm just kidding. But that saying it out loud, I think, and having them rally with you, then the next thing you know, you got your spouse or whoever being like, hey, how's that goal going? Hey, or I think you're trying to get to diamond. What does that mean? How many coaches have you signed? When you include them in the combo, they're that much more excited to like root for you to succeed. It goes same goes with your family. I can't tell you how many times you're at like a family outing and they're like, I'm sitting here capturing pictures of my food, and I'm like, well, yeah, I show up for my team, so I show up for my clients. They got to know what I'm eating, and it's don't be shameful of it. It's rad. Like, okay, I'm sitting on the other end of this and I'm helping somebody completely change their life. That's really what you're doing. And if that's something you don't believe, then you need to let it change your life and watch what happens. And you will absolutely feel that way when you begin to help women change life, because I can tell you who I was 4 years ago is not the same person I am today. And I'm so grateful for that. And that has to be your lead for every single post. You're confident in what we have to offer, because there isn't anything else out there, you guys. Nothing else is out there like this. There's some close-ups, but the difference is, and like I said last week, you are the difference. You're going to walk with them through that. So when you're trying to decide what it is that you want out of this business, go back, visualize what it is. Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? I'm actually literally writing a post right now. And, I remember when I was working full time and I had 2 kids and they were in daycare, and I didn't get to volunteer in class, and I didn't get to do these things. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, like, my kid's going to go to kindergarten, and then she's like, where's she go? Like, what happens to her after school? Like, and don't get me wrong, I get that that's a reality, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. You can work your way to whatever thing you want to be. And we've seen it time and time again. There's nobody that's off limits in making this business work. Nobody.
I want to point out too, so a group that I'm in for 5-star and above coaches, a question was asked the other day, because if you follow Beachbody Champions, if you listen to the National Wake Up Calls, if you're in tune to things Beachbody, if you follow top coaches, you might have caught on that they pull in really high numbers. For example, Ashley Molstad has like 434 Success Club points for the month of May already, so far, I should say.
I'm sorry, what?
Anyway, she is the top coach.
100?
Let me just point this out. Somebody asked, tell me your story and about your coaches who hit Success Club 5 or 10 and recruit a couple people, and what does their income look like? I want examples of people who aren't recruiting hundreds of people every single month, who have made this into something. And you guys, there were 79 comments of story after story after story of 6-figure incomes plus, multi-6-figure incomes plus, of people hitting Success Club 5 or 10, signing a couple coaches every month, and helping those coaches do the same thing. And the reason I want to point this out is sometimes I think we make this business too hard. Sometimes I think we look at these people who, and I do it myself too, we look at these people who are always the ones that are highlighted, always the ones who are recognized, always the ones who are in the spotlight, right? And maybe you're a spotlight person and you want that sort of recognition, and maybe you're not. Maybe you don't care about that stuff. Either way, that's what's going to be highlighted. But I want you guys to know that there are so many success stories, and I'm sure there were just as many that didn't even see that post. It was kind of random that I even saw it, of stories just like that in Beachbody, in this business. It's not just you better make it to the top and you better have, a post go viral and then maybe you'll make some money. Because I related to so many of those stories of people were like, my highest Success Club was like 32, I think, ever. And I've been doing this 5 years. And typically I'm like, you guys see the board. I put myself on there so that I can keep myself accountable. 12, 14, 16, I'm not pulling in huge numbers. I'm consistently helping 5+ people a month. That's always been my goal. And that has built a significant income. And I share that every single week just about, because it's here for the taking for you guys. And just like I also share every single week, I don't do this all day long. I'm super consistent doing the things for an hour plus a day, every single day, whether it's Memorial Weekend, whether I'm staying with a friend out of town, whatever. And on the days where it slacks a little bit, I make up for it on the other end. I either plan ahead to talk to way more people before I go out of town, or way more people before the weekend gets crazy, or I make up for it on the other end. But that consistency piece is huge. And I think that all too often we overcomplicate it, or maybe one message comes in that throws you a little bit and you take your foot off the gas. Every time you do that, you're basically going backwards. You basically have to start over. And I feel like I've been talking to some of the girls on our team that are feeling that way, that feel like you start to get a little bit of traction and then something happens and it's like takes the wind out of your sails. When you're feeling like that, reach out to us so that we can say, hey, I'll be really honest. I was having a funky day in my head on Saturday, I think it was, Kim. And Kim was like, what's wrong with you? I can just hear it in your voice. And I think it was hormones, and it was just a weird day. And I said it out loud. And by the next morning, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel better. And I even messaged her and I said, I can feel so much better. Da, 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 da. Because you guys, being an entrepreneur is hard. It gives you this life that I think you all want, or you wouldn't be on these calls every week and you wouldn't be doing the things all the time. But it doesn't mean it's easy. So just show up for you so that you can have all of those things that Kim is encouraging you to visualize that you want, because I promise you, they're right here for the taking. They're right here.
And isn't that kind of rad that you, like, when you think about it, you get to be like the author of your life, right? Like, you get to decide what that looks like and what kind of hours you put in, and you hit the head, like, anytime I find myself like, okay, I have a little bit of downtime, what can I do to kind of get ahead? And I think it's those moments, and this happened to me for years in this business, where I would, you hit Success Club, or maybe you're close, or maybe the month's ending and you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to hit it. We still 4 solid days in this month to hit Success Club. You got plenty of time to make that happen. And I think that sometimes we kind of slow down, or we're like, it's not working. But the truth is, it starts to work. It's just like the compound effect. All of a sudden, what you did in the month prior, so like what you're doing right now, is going to pay off in the future months. So anytime I'm like today, I haven't done my invites yet because I didn't get up when I was supposed to. And I keep thinking like, oh, well, I'm already at Success Club. What do I care? Like, but you know what? Next month, I will feel those. I will feel that day that I decided to skip, and it's not worth it. Just like I will feel that morning that I decided not to wake up all day long when I'm anxious because I can't get any work done. And I am so grateful that I got up when I did, because I didn't have any keys to my car today. And I literally was stuck at home with all the humans, and I couldn't go anywhere. And I was like, thank God I have done my job today, because I can't go anywhere, literally, or go live or do anything for that matter, because they're all up my butt, right? So that's what you pay off for, is it's working it when you can in the hours. And if you're reading the growth book, I always call it the growth book, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called.
15 laws of growth. It's not that, but it's closer. Yeah. It's something like that.
15 or 13?
15.
So I think the one that was about the trade-offs.
Yes, I just listened to that today.
I mean, that just like hit home. It's like, yeah. What are you trading off? Are you staying up late and watching Netflix? Or are you staying up late and sending 100 invites? I mean, that's the reality. Are you reading your personal development when instead of reading a magazine or watching a show, or when your kid's sitting there reading? There is nothing wrong with you sitting there reading. Actually, you reading is a great example for them, because it's not very often that parents just sit down and read books. But them seeing you do that, I tell you, Avery she's like, if I'm reading, whatever, she's right there. And now she's reading it. And now she's asking questions, which is rad, because we're talking about things that she doesn't need to know about today, but get it in her brain now. And it's the same thing. And we're going to raise up this next generation to be freaking rad. That's every time. I'm like, yeah. So if you haven't read that chapter, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically it's like just trade-offs. Like, what are you trading now? What can you trade now that might feel uncomfortable, but in the end, there's a bigger payoff?
It's 15 invaluable laws of growth.
Valuable. That's what it is. Yeah. But that's, I think that's a huge, I think we want the glamorous, right? Like, we want to be just floating on a river in Italy, drinking Mai Tais. Probably not Mai Tais. Prosecco, better choice. And sitting on a beach and doing all the things. But the truth is, you guys, those coaches are also doing, I mean, they may have assistants and have a little bit more assistance, but they still have to do the hard work. They still have to show up. They still have to comment back. They still have to learn. They still have to change and develop and grow. And so do we. And how rad that we get to,
Also, kind of on topic, I feel like a lot of times we are afraid and we're hiding behind that fear. I'm going to use Heather Shipley's line, fear is not welcome here. I recently sent a little survey to a few people, and overwhelmingly, one of the questions was, how many people have you invited to this business? And then followed up with a question about, kind of what's holding you back. Overwhelmingly, every single person I sent that to, the number of people that they've actually invited to this business was very small. And the reason was fear. Fear of rejection, fear of what other people would think, fear of being one of those people, all of these fear-based things. And part of me felt like, oh man, because I know how that feels, because I lived there. You guys, I was in the Beachbody closet for at least 6 months, telling even the people closest to me who I was referring to my coach at the time, even though I was already signed up as a coach, that I wasn't really doing this. I was completely downplaying the business because I was so afraid of what everybody else thought about it, or what I thought everybody else thought about it. And I was allowing everybody else's supposed opinions to make decisions based on my life. And finally, when I got over that, I will never forget being on a random call because I was being a little stalker in a team page, which I knew nothing about team pages. I knew nothing about ranks. I knew nothing about anything. I was basically signed up, enjoying the discount, being a Beachbody coach creep because I was too afraid to do anything. And I watched a call from a girl who talked about being a nurse and a mom, not wanting to work night shift anymore. She was a 2-star diamond coach at the time, and she had more than replaced her income and was now a stay-at-home mom. That moment in time changed my life. Hearing that from her changed my life. And that was when I decided, why not me? Why can't I do what she did? But what it took was me getting over the fear of what anybody might think or say and just putting myself out there. And I bring this up because part of me, when I was reading these responses, felt sad because I know how that feels because I felt that before. But the other part of me felt really happy. And here's why. I've been wondering if there is something in the system that's broken. Like, okay, we keep telling everybody, follow the slay of the day, follow the Success Club tracker. It will work. It will work. We talk about consistency all day long. We already hit that topic on this call, and it still isn't, something's still not working for some of the girls. But getting those responses back, it's like, bingo. Because you guys, if you're so passionate about this business and you know that there's something you have to offer here, even if you're just offering the discount to these amazing programs and products that change lives, you have to lead with confidence and you have to ask people. My cousin is doing big things in doTERRA, big things. I don't understand all their ranks and all of that, but she's doing big things, and I know they're making a buttload of money with doTERRA. She told me, I had probably been a coach for about 18 months. She signed up with doTERRA at that time, and she said to me, you never asked me if I wanted to be on your team. You always told me, oh, I'm not really doing that. Because I was so afraid to ask her. And guess what? She would have signed up, and she has that entrepreneurial mind, and she's all over social media. Like, who knows what she would have done. She was looking for an opportunity like this. She wears doTERRA loud and proud, and it's gotten her to where she is now because she has no qualms about saying, I'm a doTERRA rep. Look at my oils. Buy them from me. They're rad. Look what they did for the health of my family. Look what they did for me. Look what they've done for my family financially. So her business has blown up. You're going to have to reach deep down inside you and get over that fear of what people are going to think. Or here's your tough love. This is not going to work. Because if you're not confident in this, if you're not confident to reach out to people and say, hey, do you want to join my team? My team is rad. There's this awesome opportunity. Even if you feel like you haven't had the success to be able to say like XYZ happened to me based on the business, that's okay. If you lead with confidence, there's so many other examples you can use, and you can use your own personal story, whatever it is thus far, and lead with that. But if you feel shameful of what we do as coaches, people aren't going to want to join your team. And if you don't ask, you're missing out on people who could be really rad on your team. And I say that, I'm like hot right now because anytime I say things like this, I get nervous. But I say that with all the love in my heart. it's just been a hot topic and something I've dealt with. And I know that some of you are dealing with it. And I'm telling you right now, you're getting over it today. Invite people to coaching, you guys. Your team will not grow if you do not invite people to coaching. It won't, because how's anybody going to join your team if you're not inviting to it? So be brave, you guys. Be bold. Lead with confidence. Lead with the vision. Put your vision out there for what you want and you know can happen. And you're inviting people to come along with you to change their health and their finances because you know that this can happen. But if you don't ask, it's always going to be a no. You're putting their answer in their mouth for them. And you don't want to have that person like I do. I kick myself every time I see my cousin. I'm so happy for her. But I'm like, oh, damn, because she straight up and she told me, you never asked me. That stings, you guys. Saying.
I mean, I feel like you could use, I never invited to this business in any kind of personal message. I would put up tons of coaching posts and get 0 bites. And so then the only reason I really would sign coaches over the course of the last few years was really because I would, it would be a challenger who turned coach or whatever. And it wasn't until probably a year ago that I really started inviting to coaching. And I feel like it has been the absolute difference in it. And I think that, when you're a new coach, it's really hard to be like, hi, come join my team. You're going to be the only one. It's okay, because guess what? They're getting in on the ground floor. They get to be your top 2 people. They're only going to benefit. There's only going to be the residual income for those people. That's why we always tell you to sign your spouse so that they're up at the top of your pyramid, so to speak. I mean, it's not a pyramid, but it is. It's shaped like a pyramid. But you know what I mean? Have them be there on the top with you, because, and so when you are feeling like, well, okay, great, I sent a coach, what do I do with them? That's what we're here for. We will help you do stuff with them. We're not just going to be like, cool, have fun. No, we're going to either train them with you, or we're going to give you all the tools. We're going to walk you through what it is that you need to do with this coach so that you feel confident in going out there. It's funny. Chelsea's like, what am I inviting to? I'm like, I don't really know, but just invite like crazy. And if somebody's into it, we'll just make something up. And but the thing is, you can talk because you know what you're selling. The challenge group never changes, really. Beauty It's Time to Be is going to be so great. It's like this all-inclusive next month. Guess what? We've got this really great group, and it's the exact same thing that we did a year ago. It's all the same stuff, but they don't know that, and they're just as excited as you are. And that's the cool part, is that we just keep to get to bring the excitement, bring the energy, bring the team. And you guys, we do have a rad team. Our team goes way high. Maybe you don't always see it on these team calls, maybe you don't always see it in all the things, but we have an incredible team of women who are from all over the Pacific Northwest. Not Pacific Northwest, North America. And be excited to welcome them into our team, and just don't be afraid. I think one of the coolest, when you're doing a little 531 is, when you're looking through people and you come across that coach, that woman or whoever, and she's rad and she's got, the same age kids as you, or she's got, she lives in, grateful if she lives in your neck of the woods. But even if she doesn't, it's one of those like, hey, I don't know if you've ever considered network marketing or whatever, or you make a relationship with her, but you have, like, I've been looking through your stuff. You have exactly what I'm looking for to join my team. I don't know if you're looking to, start a business from home, or you're looking for that residual income or whatever, but I'm here to tell you, like, you've got that look. Even if she doesn't join you today, she's going to hear that, she's going to receive it, and she's going to walk away being like, oh, weird. Someone thought I would be like a great part of their team. Cool. Maybe they've never been told that, and this goes back to the number one question you're always going to have, like, well, I don't feel like I'm at a place where I can coach because I'm not in the best shape, or I'm not there yet. Guys, the people that succeed in this business are the people who have a story to share. If you have, Danielle Natoni is probably the best example of this. She literally has 0 weight to lose. She's basically like a muscle. just one large muscle. And she got into this business because she wanted to be able to put the gas thing, what's it called? The gas nozzle to the car and put the thing up so it holds on its own. That's why she wanted to be in this business, because she was that person who had to sit there and it went too far, because she didn't have the penny that when it went over, she couldn't afford it. She 100% came into this business because she was broke. She had no money, and she just kept putting it on her credit card, and it was so hard for her. But and then on top of that, has zero weight to lose. So her story was that she wanted to get out of debt and she wanted to change her life. And now she's in the top 10. And it took her a while to get there, but I feel like that's part of her story. She's also Ashley Milstead's coach, and yeah. You know that she's Ashley's coach, right? Yeah. So everybody gets in it for a different reason, and whatever yours is, just be confident in that. So
What is that person's name?
Danielle Natoni. She's the one who's always working out with Shanti. She was on Insanity. No.
Yeah, she's in Max 30. Wait, no. Yes. Yeah, she's in Max 30.
And she does a lot of the live. Yeah.
No, she's not the modifier. That's Julie. Sorry.
But she's her husband's also in there too.
Yeah.
He's in the videos. But yeah, so she just got into the business to just grow. And she has if you follow her stories. I like the way I saw her at Summit or Leadership or one of them. And the way she comes up with like a really cute name to call the people she mentors every month. And it's not fancy. It's not like an Ashley Smith where you're like, okay, I don't have a graphic designer who's going to make all my stories look like that. She's just real and raw and is like, hey, I'm doing a mentorship. Do you want to be a part of it? Here, I'm looking for 5 women. Here's my list. Do you want to be on it? Like it's just raw and to the point. So she's actually a really good one to follow because I feel like she's not all fluff. So
I do feel like just as there are lots of people in this world who think MLMs are icky, if you think that, you need to change that mindset, by the way. But I feel like just as there's that many people who might think that, there's just as many people who are like Danielle who need an income opportunity, who maybe they can't go back to school or they don't have the time or whatever their situation may be. They aren't earning enough to live the lifestyle that they need or want, and they're looking for an income opportunity. I've heard a lot of coaches recently leading more with the business as an income opportunity because there are so many people out there who are like, yes, I need that. Now, I will say that with what we do, I feel like it's different than a lot of other MLMs that they'll have to get on board with the health and fitness. So it's almost like a backwards thing. Like I always led with the health and fitness because that's how I got into it. But don't discount the people who literally need this financially and could benefit from it so much. And in the meantime, they'll get super healthy. You know, I feel like if we don't talk about that, if we continue to downplay that or continue to hide behind it, then you're keeping it from people who need it.
Yeah.
The other I'm next week because I wanted to talk about Morning Meltdown, which is what is coming out next from Beachbody. And I feel like we're already getting, what's that?
I was going to say, before you jump to Morning Meltdown, does anybody have any questions, thoughts, concerns about inviting or dreaming or any of that? Any, 2 cents?
How do you swap from my struggle right now is how do you swap from inviting to challenge groups to coaches?
I think you look at the person, honestly. I look at their feed a little bit and kind of get a feel for if you go at it from the mindset of like, I want that girl on my team. I always use Cece because I totally stalked her and did this to her. Like, I want that girl on my team. I knew she was an athlete in college, and I knew she was a new mom. So I invited her to coaching. And then there's other people who you're like, you know what, she might make a great coach, but think she might want to start in a challenge group, you know? So kind of depends. I do on Instagram, definitely invite more people to coaching.
You can also make the invite be more, like right now, my invite in Instagram is, hi, hope you're having a great weekend. Not sure if you know what it is that I do, but basically I live my healthiest life yet and invite others to do it with me. I don't know if you'd be interested in an income opportunity that you could do from home, focused around health and fitness, or maybe you are ready to take your health and fitness up a notch. I'd love to help. Want me to send you information? So I just kind of lump them in both. And if they write back, sure, then I say something like, awesome, are you looking more for your personal health and fitness, or are you looking for the business side of things, or both? And if they say both, then I have a response for that. If they say fitness, then I have a response for that. So I just kind of keep it generic, letting them know like, hey, I do both of these things. How can I help? Kind of thing. So.
Good question.
Yeah, great question. Anything else before we morning meltdown? All right, take it away.
Okay. I was gonna save morning meltdown for next week so that we could do questions. But I also wanted to say, okay, so morning meltdown, that's okay, is the next program that comes out the end of July 29th. So we will be having an info group for it. We really want to get ahead of the launch of it. And I don't want this to throw anybody in terms of invites. So next week, team call, we will talk more about it. But tomorrow on Beachbody Champions page, there's going to be an info on it. 10 a.m. Pacific time on Beachbody Champions page. Kim Carver, who works for Beachbody, will be going over all of the dates, all of the pricing for the challenge packs, a little bit of game planning on what you can do for your challenge groups and things like that. And it's really great stuff. So try to tune in. It'll be on the page. So if you can't be on right at 10 a.m., just put it on your to-do list to listen at some point this week. But with this is going to be a really big launch for a few reasons. For one, it's 100 workouts. So that's a long time. So I would imagine we will have a couple different start times for different challenge groups running through fall-ish, end of year-ish for this program, because it's going to be a really big deal. This is something they've never done before. And the fact that the timing of all of the workouts is 20 to 30 minutes, I feel like is spot on. I really like what they did with her nutrition stuff. You guys will see that more tomorrow. Just really simplifying everything is really what she did. And right now, what you can do is already start talking about it on your social media. You can go to the hashtag Morning Meltdown 100, and there's coaches who are in the test group who are already posting. I think they're on day 60 something. They're already posting transformations from day 50, and so on and so forth. So don't be afraid to snag those photos and start talking about it. You're not saying this program I'm doing, obviously, but start beefing it up now. The more you get ahead of the launch, when the challenge packs go on sale, the more people can be like, oh yeah, I want to do that. So prior to that, and this is what I don't want to throw you off, just like Kim told Chelsea, when she said, what am I inviting to? You're just inviting. This is what we do. We always have an opportunity for people to be in boot camp. So don't worry about all of the logistics. Just know we've got you. So when you're inviting, invite to a challenge group. Start dropping hints about Morning Meltdown. If you don't know much about it, which most of us don't, watch the video. But that for the next challenge group, we are planning it this week. An info group for our next challenge group, which is going to launch before Morning Meltdown, will start on Monday with a couple the following week. So if you don't have a group planned out, just know you can be invited this week for the next challenge group.
Andy, I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on, but I can't hear.
Oh. No.
Is that just me?
There's something weird on mine too. It sounds like a vacuum or something.
That's
Yeah, like a hair dryer.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting like every third word.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to know what you're saying, so that's
Sorry.
the only reason I'm
It's
interrupting.
clear now.
It's good. It went away.
Okay, so our next challenge group, info group, is going to open Monday. Prep week will start the following Monday. It's going to be 3 weeks. We're planning out a calendar, and we're going to use some of Jericho's workouts so people can kind of get to know her. So let's say, for example, you sign somebody up for that group, and then Morning Meltdown comes down the pike. They can buy a completion pack. They can get access to that. So I don't want you to feel like right now you don't want to sell things because you want to wait for that. Don't ever have that mindset. Have the mindset that right now is going to be huge because we're leading up to a really big launch. So no matter when your clients come on board, we will take care of them as a team. So I want you to be confident in that. There's going to be, anytime there's a new launch, there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of like, well, what do I invite to? Da, da, da. Just keep inviting and we will guide you as to where to plug people in and as far as when they sign up, what makes the most sense. But watch that video tomorrow. I'm not going to go on and on about it. We will talk more about our game plan for our team as far as dates and things like that on the next team call and strategies for your social media and how you can breadcrumb. But go to that hashtag this week. Look up the results that people are already showing so far. Do a little blip on your stories, talk about it. You know, you can even say, I've never done a workout by this trainer before, because some of you are so new, you probably haven't, maybe you have. I'm going to test it out in my next group. It looks really rad. You know, talk about how you're so excited. You know, all the workouts are only going to be 20 to 30 minutes. Like there's so many little nuggets you can start dropping to hype it up well before it actually goes on sale. So people will start asking questions and you'll be ahead of the game for when it comes out. So, and I feel like the pricing is really good. I think you will like, I don't remember all of the specifics off the top of my head, but they'll put it on sale to start. And I felt like it was very fair for the way that they made the challenge packs. Nothing made me go, oh God.
Like 20. Oh, and buzzing.
What's that?
I said like T20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's under 200.
Even 80 day was a lot.
You get, one thing you get is like it was 100-day, I think it was like a little sayings thing, like a little motivational book you get, and there's 100 things. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, it's really, I feel like it's marketed really well when you see like what it all looks like.
Yeah.
You can also go to Morning Meltdown 100 Facebook page and see some of their stuff too. So start using it, start dropping hints. Any questions?
I have a question that doesn't have to do with, go ahead, Jackie.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
You go ahead, because yours probably has to do with Morning Meltdown. Go ahead.
Well, not really. Can you just briefly say, like, what is a completion pack? I don't know what that.
So a completion pack is when a new program comes out, somebody already has Beachbody On Demand. So a completion pack is going to come with the VIP early access to that new program, plus whatever extras come with that program. Like for hers, you get the little booklet, and there were a couple other things. And then also Shakeology or Performance Line or both. So it's kind of like a put your package together, but you already have BOD. So you're going to get all that stuff discounted because you're buying it as a bundle, which is why they create it. Because if they buy everything a la carte, it's going to cost them way more. I always tell people about challenge packs or completion packs. So that's another thing. Customers who you currently have, you can already start mentioning things about Morning Meltdown to them. I'm sure they'll get emails from Team Beachbody, but make sure you're in talks with them so that they know that you have special pricing packages that are going to be cheaper than just piecemealing things together, because it's always a better buy for them. So in that situation, a lot of times, like say your customer's on Shakeology already and they already have Beachbody On Demand, I'll say, hey, why don't you cancel your current Shakeology, buy a completion pack? They're basically going to end up getting everything for like the price of their Shakeology. So it's always a better bet to do a completion pack, and it's for Success Club points too. So it benefits your client and it benefits you.
Okay, thank you.
Emily, did you have a question?
Yes.
Real quick, Emily, real quick, before you, from Morning Meltdown, Andy, can you say where to go again? Because you did, and it was during that noise.
Search just hashtag Morning Meltdown 100.
But tomorrow morning, go to Beachbody Champions.
Yeah.
they're going to do a video on all the information.
And it's at 10, correct?
Mhm.
Our time, California time?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you?
Sorry, say that again, Emily.
So it's noon for me. So it's 10 o'clock. I was thinking 10 o'clock here. So it's 10 o'clock for you guys. Right?
Pacific time. Yeah.
I always get that confused.
Me too.
I was just, mine's off topic. I was just going to say that in 3 days, the personal development book will be done. Does anybody want to do another one together starting the day after that? Or
We're done in 3 days.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind. Why don't we start another one Monday? Why don't we kind of throw out some ideas on what it could be?
Right.
That's where I dropped the ball Memorial Weekend for sure. But I'm almost caught up.
I think, yeah, that's great. So yeah, why don't you post something in the team page and say, hey, anybody have any suggestions for our next book? And then we can all kind of throw out options, and then maybe we can do some research and then come back next Monday with a new idea.
Does anybody have any ideas here that I can post there if any people don't comment, just in case, so I can some people don't watch this call. Not that's okay. I was just wondering if anybody had a preference or thoughts.
Hang on, I'm gonna pull up
I feel like there's so many genres. Atomic Habits is really good. I started reading that one. I feel like I need to listen to it like every
I was
other.
also gonna say, what about Kick Fear in the Face, or whatever that book is called?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Is that what it's called? Start, Punch. Yeah, it's by John Acuff. Start, Punch Fear in the Face, Escape Average, and Do Work That Matters.
I saw him in person, and it's an incredible book. He talked about it when I went to Orange last year.
I love him.
He is my favorite
Yeah,
sticker.
Is that Atomic Habits?
Yeah.
Atomic Habits, and then Punch Fear in the Face.
I like Atomic Habits was one I was going to suggest. So.
Have you read it already? Or no, you just heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll put a couple in, and then we can vote. I think I own Punch Fear in the Face too. Another one that's really good is Left Jab Jab. Jab Jab Punch Hook. Jab Jab Hook Punch by what's his name? The cusser, but he's good. Gary Vandercheck.
That's a man.
He's the cusser, but he's real good. He brings it home, but he doesn't sugarcoat. No.
Jab, jab, hook.
Jab, jab. Is it jab, jab, right hook? I think something like that. But it's basically like you jab, jab, and then you bring it with the rest of it. Something along those lines. Okay, cool. Yeah, send that. Oh, the other thing before we wrap it up here, I was just going to mention the Tribe Coach of the Week. So basically, as you know, Tribe is meant for anytime you sign a client with a challenge pack, or maybe they only get BOD and they're just kind of, or maybe they switch over to you, but they're not really purchasing anything. They're just kind of like, they need some accountability, but maybe they just aren't really doing any of it. Tribe is a great place for them, plus any and all old clients. Everybody you sign, basically, you add to there. And so we, a couple months ago, decided let's bring value to that group every day. We have enough coaches to kind of own it. So Maggie is the coach this week, and you can kind of see what she's doing. But there is a schedule that I posted in that post that I posted about it. And basically you can schedule that post, and then you can make it an announcement, so that it's just that we constantly have kind of somebody pouring in, somebody sharing recipes, somebody sharing transformations, and away we go. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there just so you guys understand what Tribe is and isn't.
I haven't looked into it yet, but how do we add somebody?
Tribe? You can just go in and add people. I think okay. I'll just have to approve.
Okay.
But I assume if you guys are adding people, that they're people that you're selling or they're your clients. So I approve pretty much everybody. The only time I don't is if they have zero association from like anybody. So that's it.
So you put like a tribe coach of the week. So you just like put a post every day.
Yeah.
You just something.
There's a schedule. We made kind of a schedule. So it's pretty, I mean, you can really go with whatever you want, but we have like, yesterday was Motivational Monday, Sunday is goals, Tuesday is To Be Tuesday, and I think Maggie threw up 2 transformations today. Wednesday is Woman Crush Wednesday. So she just picks somebody who's really rocking it and highlights them. And then Thursday, I think, I can't remember. But anyway, you can look at the schedule and then away you go.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Anything else?
Can we take a picture?
You sure can. Your smiling face is ready. All right. Cheese. Great job. Do you want us to smile again so you can take one with your phone?
Sure.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
Great job. Well done while smiling. Okay, cool. If there's nothing else, I won't keep you guys. It's 8 o'clock on the dot. Let's go. We have 4 days. 4 days. You can do hard things in 4 days. Hey, and anytime you're feeling discouraged, you should go onto the new Instagram. There's a filter that has diamonds on your face. You should go there and be like, I am a diamond, I am a diamond. It's visualization right there. And the diamonds are like popping off your face. And earlier I was doing it. I was like counting them. I'm like, yes, I'm there. I'm on the stage with my 14 stars. Just kidding. Anyway, just me. Okay. All right. Well, have a great one. Girly girls.
Bye.
Bye.